Deep within nature, hidden in plain sight, evolution continues its course. But sometimes nature does not follow its own rules and gives rise to creatures that should never have existed. Some mutations may seem harmless, simple genetic errors of no consequence, but others turn animals into deadlier, more resilient, and more unstoppable predators than ever before. Creatures that over time have developed unique traits, making them faster, stronger, and in some cases, practically invincible. In this video, we will explore 8 animals that have mutated into perfect hunting machines. Beings that have shifted the balance of their ecosystems, dominating their territory like never before. We'll go from least to most, discovering increasingly terrifying creatures until we reach a point where you'll start to wonder, is nature really evolving? Or is it creating monsters? Get ready, because what you are about to see might change the way you perceive the animal kingdom forever. Number 8. We begin this list with a mutation that not only changed an animal but turned it into a symbol of resistance against its greatest enemy, humans. For centuries, elephants have been brutally hunted for their ivory, reducing their populations to alarming levels. But nature found a way to respond. Something strange began to happen. More and more elephants were being born without tusks. At first glance, it might seem like a defect, a harmful mutation. But in reality, this genetic alteration gave them an unexpected advantage. Hunters no longer considered them valuable. As a result, these elephants have managed to survive and multiply in greater numbers. But it's not that simple. This mutation has brought about a behavioral change that makes them even more dangerous. Tuskless elephants are more aggressive, more distrustful, and less tolerant of humans. In several regions of Africa, there have been documented cases of these elephants attacking villages, destroying crops, and confronting people with unusual ferocity. If this trend continues, we may be witnessing the birth of a new version of the elephant, one that is not only more resilient but also more violent. An animal that has not forgotten the harm we caused it, and now sees us as its true threat. And if this is only the beginning, imagine what awaits us in the next spots on this list. Number 7. Among the dense vegetation of India and Bangladesh, where light barely penetrates and trees create a labyrinth of shadows, lurks a hunter that science still does not fully understand. A predator that seems to have fused with darkness itself, the melanistic tiger. It is not a legend, nor a myth. This tiger, born with an excess of melanin in its skin, has developed a coat so dark that under certain lighting conditions, it becomes almost invisible in its environment. This mutation, far from being a genetic mistake, has made the tiger an even more effective hunter. In the jungle, the ability to stalk unseen is the difference between life and death, and this feline knows it. Its hunt is stealthy, lethal, and inevitable. It moves through the trees like a shadow, stalking its prey for hours until it strikes at the perfect moment. By the time its victim realizes it is being watched, it is already too late. What is most unsettling is that its rarity has made it even more dangerous. A normal tiger hunts and hides, avoiding contact with humans, but melanistic tigers have been obsessively hunted, turned into trophies for collectors. They have learned to fear humans and to attack first. If evolution continues favoring this mutation, we may be witnessing the rise of a new lineage of tigers, masters of stealth, invisible to our eyes, but not to their prey. The melanistic tiger showed us how mutation can turn a predator into a lethal shadow. But what happens when a mutation not only enhances hunting but defies the laws of nature? What happens when an animal grows larger than it should, adapts to environments where it doesn't belong, and becomes a threat to everything around it? What we will see next is not an ordinary predator. It is a monster that should never have existed, and yet it is here. Number 6. Snakes have been symbols of fear since the dawn of humanity. Silent, patient creatures capable of wrapping their prey in a deadly embrace until the last breath leaves their bodies. But one has gone beyond. One that has mutated, grown, and now has no limits. The giant python. Being in places like Florida and Southeast Asia is alarming. Burmese pythons, released into ecosystems where they don't belong, have started to grow to monstrous sizes. Some have reached over 6 meters in length and there are reports of specimens surpassing 8 meters. These snakes haven't just grown in size, but also in voracity. In Florida, they have devastated entire populations of mammals. Deer, alligators, and even crocodiles have fallen prey to them. Their ability to adapt and hunt without fear has made them the queens of their new territory. But the most terrifying part is this: they are still evolving. Pythons with extreme resistance to cold have been discovered, something that was previously impossible for their species. This means they could expand beyond tropical climates, colonizing new territories and becoming an indestructible plague. An animal with no natural predators that keeps growing uncontrollably, and that might now be searching for new horizons to continue hunting. The giant python is proof that mutation can create real monsters. But if you think this is terrifying, wait until you see what comes next. Number 5. Now we head to the frozen lands of the Arctic, where temperatures are extreme, food is scarce, and only the toughest survive. Here, an ancient predator has changed, and now it's bigger, stronger, and more dangerous than ever. At number 5 on our list, we have the giant Arctic wolves. Wolves have been symbols of power and cunning since time immemorial. They are intelligent predators, pack hunters capable of taking down prey much larger than themselves. But in the coldest regions of the planet, where life is a constant battle against death, wolves have changed. They have adapted, and now they have mutated. In Alaska, Canada, and Siberia, reports have documented wolves of enormous size. Some reach 90 kilos in weight, almost double the size of a common wolf. Their bodies are more muscular, their legs longer, their endurance terrifying. But what truly makes them unstoppable isn't just their size, it's their intelligence. These wolves have learned new hunting strategies. Instead of preying on small animals, they have started taking on increasingly larger ones. They are more coordinated, more aggressive, and they do not fear humans. In some remote villages in Russia, chilling stories have emerged. Wolves that don't flee from fire, that stalk hunters at night, and that work in packs with eerie precision. If this evolution continues, we may be witnessing the resurgence of super predators, distant descendants of the giant wolves of the Ice Age, creatures that could return to reclaim their place at the top of the food chain. The giant Arctic wolves have shown us how evolution can forge super predators, adapted to the cold, to hunger, and to hunting in packs. Creatures that have learned to survive in the most extreme conditions, and to dominate their environment without mercy. But what happens when two beasts combine into one? When mutation not only enhances a predator, but transforms it into something entirely new, stronger and deadlier than any of its ancestors. What you are about to see is not speculation or legend. It is real. A creature born from the climate crisis, a fusion of two giants that should never have crossed paths. A predator that now not only dominates the Arctic, but could spread beyond. Number 4. Deep in the frozen lands where the ice is melting faster than ever, something unusual has begun to happen. Polar bears and grizzly bears have started to interbreed, and the result is terrifying. These hybrids, known as growlers or pisleys, are not just a simple mix of two species. They are an unexpected evolutionary mutation. From polar bears, they have inherited extreme resistance to the cold, the ability to swim long distances, and a relentless hunting instinct. From grizzly bears, they have gained greater aggression, the ability to survive in temperate climates, and a metabolism that makes them even more resilient. The result? A predator without limits. These bears are stronger than a polar bear and more adaptable than a grizzly. They do not rely solely on ice to hunt, meaning they can survive in multiple ecosystems. Hybrids of this kind have been spotted hunting not just in the Arctic, but also in forested areas, moving ever closer to human territories. And there is something even more unsettling. These bears seem to be more aggressive than either of their parents. Polar bears, despite their size, usually avoid unnecessary conflict. The hybrids, however, show no fear. Scientists warn that if this trend continues, we may be witnessing the birth of a new species, one that combines the best of both worlds and is capable of expanding beyond the Arctic. A predator of ice that no longer needs ice to survive. But if you think this is terrifying, wait until you see what comes next. Number 3. Now we leave the cold behind and dive into the most treacherous waters on the planet. There, beneath the surface, lurks a predator that has reached monstrous proportions. A silent killer, with the most powerful bite in the animal kingdom, and one that keeps growing. If there is one animal that has dominated hunting for over 200 million years, it is the saltwater crocodile. Its design has remained unchanged since the age of the dinosaurs, and it hasn't needed to change. It is a perfect killing machine. But now, something is happening. Something that defies all logic. In recent years, crocodiles larger than ever before have been documented. Specimens exceeding 7 meters in length, with more robust bodies, increased aggression, and an even more insatiable appetite. Experts theorize that due to climate change and the decline of their prey, these crocodiles have developed a new strategy: growing without limits. The bigger they are, the easier it is to hunt, and the fewer enemies they have. But the most terrifying part is that their behavior is also changing. They no longer hunt only in rivers. Crocodiles have been spotted traveling hundreds of kilometers in open sea, appearing in places where they never existed before. They have become bolder, attacking boats, hunting larger prey, and approaching coastal cities. In regions like Australia, there have been reports of giant crocodiles attacking sharks, something that was once unthinkable. If this trend continues, we may be witnessing the return of a super predator, a monster that never disappeared, but is now becoming even bigger and deadlier. But if you think nothing can surpass a giant crocodile, wait, because some creatures haven't just mutated to be bigger or stronger. Some have evolved into something far more terrifying: unprecedented intelligence. Number 2. Beneath the ocean's surface, hidden in the shadows of reefs and the darkest depths, dwell creatures that seem to have evolved beyond any natural logic. Creatures that not only hunt but learn, and among them, one has begun to mutate in an unsettling way. Octopuses have always been considered the geniuses of the ocean, capable of solving puzzles, opening sealed jars, mimicking textures and colors at will, and even using primitive tools. But in recent years, something strange has started to happen. Their intelligence appears to be increasing. Cases have been documented of octopuses with larger than normal brains, capable of performing complex actions never before seen in their species. Some have learned to hunt in groups, something previously unthinkable for these animals. Others have developed impossible escape methods, memorizing patterns and structures. But the most terrifying aspect is their behavior. They have become bolder. In some regions, they have been observed stalking larger prey and attacking with coordinated strategies. And then, there's their blue blood. Octopus blood contains hemocyanin, a protein that allows them to transport oxygen extremely efficiently, even in freezing temperatures and deep waters. Some scientists believe that if this mutation continues to evolve, we could see octopuses capable of surviving in extreme conditions, colonizing new ecosystems where they never existed before. If this happens, we would be witnessing the birth of a new type of predator, one that doesn't just hunt by instinct but may be developing something we once associated only with humans: the ability to plan, adapt, and learn at a terrifying level. So far, we've seen giant wolves hunting in the snow, crocodiles growing uncontrollably, and octopuses developing a frightening intelligence. But what animal could be more terrifying than all of them? To find it, we don't need to travel into the unknown. It's here in the savannah, where the balance of power has changed forever. The ultimate nightmare lurks in the African savannah. Number 1. From the depths of the savannah, a creature has emerged that defies everything we thought we knew about the animal kingdom. An unexpected mutation has transformed a simple scavenger into a lethal predator, capable of changing the roux. Bigger, stronger, more feared, the white hyena has arrived, and the lion's throne has never been in greater danger. Long seen as scavengers, hyenas have lived in the shadow of lions, until now. A new type of hyena has emerged, larger, stronger, and far more aggressive. Its mutation has made it powerful enough to hunt alone, challenge lion prides, and even make them flee in its presence. Cases have been recorded where lions avoid direct confrontations with these hyenas, as if they know they are not dealing with an ordinary predator. If this mutation spreads, the white hyena could forever alter the balance of the savanna and dethrone the king of beasts.